Hello and welcome to Barbara's Podcast. This is the show for women, all about health, nutrition, and wellness. It's the show that will empower you and inspire you to create a healthier lifestyle.
Well, hello and welcome. I'm Barbara Karafocus, and I'm excited to introduce Angela Fields. Angela is the CEO and founder of Curly Coily Tresses, a natural hair brand she launched in January 2015. Welcome, Angela.
Thank you. Thank you for the invite.
It's my pleasure. Well, Angela, can we start with some of the basics, and could you share your personal journey and the pivotal moment that led you to create Curly Coily Tresses after your traumatic experience with chemical burns?
Yes. And that experience with chemical burns came after twice losing my hair years before as a teenager. And I wanted to retake control of my hair, and rather than surrender it to someone else. And then also something that the chemical burn taught me is I had been using these chemicals on my hair for a very long time. And you think longevity means that it's safe, but if something can land on your face and cause a chemical burn where you need to go through burn therapy treatment, just as if you were caught in a house fire or had a chemical burn on your body, then it can't really be safe. And so I started making different choices about how I was going to style my hair, and I was going to transition away from chemicals and then go back to my natural texture, a curly texture. And that in itself had been a journey because I hadn't experienced my own hair in a lifetime or in a couple of lifetimes. And it was just reintroducing myself to my hair and the types of products that my hair needed. And so after having lost my hair twice and then the chemical burn, I had started doing the research as a teenager to understand what my hair needed, what it didn't need, how to treat it or protect it, depending on what's happening around it. And I started trying to find hair care products that would work for my natural texture, which was a bit drier than my chemically enhanced texture. And it was very difficult to find those products. 96 to 98% of US hair care is fragrance, and fragrance is one of my huge allergies. So I tapped into what I could find, started shopping in Canada and in Europe, and I found better options. But ultimately, what I decided to do was just start buying raw ingredients because I had better options, but I wasn't completely satisfied with what I was using. And I knew what my hair needed, and I knew what it didn't need. So I started buying raw ingredients and formulating in my kitchen and would document the process. How did it turn out? What did I like? What didn't I like? Was it effective? And so after about a year of this, I hit upon formulas that worked very well and was completely content to continue doing this in my kitchen, even though I had friends and family telling me that I really needed to start selling the products. And I'm like, I have a full-time job. This really wasn't the intent of this journey that I had been on. I was solving the issues for myself, not necessarily for anyone else. But then after losing my job in corporate America, after 26 years with two different companies in the Fortune 500, Fortune 1000 range, I ultimately decided to launch the brand and start selling the products. And then that takes me to having been in business now just over 8 years.
Well done. Well done. It's inspiring that your journey, the way you experimented with the products, different ingredients. I remember, I also went through a phase of perming my hair, and at some point, I think it was a couple of times, and I said, no, I can't do this anymore. The smell and the chemical. I think one of the times I'd actually gone into the hairdressers, I thought I was going to be sick, and I thought, okay, this is the last time. I'm not doing this again. So I understand. I can relate.
Oh, definitely. And and I've seen the salons where they have to have the front and the back door open and they've got a big fan venting the salon. And I'm like, that cannot be good if you have to do this to use this product. But yeah.
Well, what are the most of the common challenges that your clients face, and how do your coaching methods address these issues to help restore and maintain healthy curls?
Absolutely. Most of my clients, most of my customers and potential customers, their interest lies in menopausal hair, hormonal hair issues. So just before menopause and then after. So they're dealing with hair loss. They're dealing with thinning, especially on the edges and then through the crown. And then there's a new level of dryness. Natural hair does tend to be drier, but when you add in the changing of hormones, that dryness is like exacerbated. So it's even greater of an issue. And then thinning is another challenge. And so you're dealing with these texture changes that are happening, this new level of dryness. You may have even thought that you found your ideal products. And then as you're going through these hormonal changes, you're thinking, this isn't working anymore. What happened to the products? And so it is educating on what menopause and hormones does to your hair. We speak so much about what it's doing to our bodies with the hot flashes and night sweats and those types of things, but we don't talk so much about our hair. And there are a multitude of changes taking place in our hair. And so those are the customers that are my key customers. And it's also why I created my course, Ageless Tresses, Navigating Hair Health Through Menopause and Beyond, because I want them to understand this is what's happening. You're not alone. I'm there with you because I'm 57. I'm right there with you. And there is a community of women that are right there with you. And so we can teach you how to use your products, what is actually happening, the best steps to take, and those that are probably not the best, and then kind of move forward from there. But the key things is when my clients have lost their hair, all they want to know is, how can I grow it back? And basically the two barometers to tell you is if your follicles are healthy and capable of producing hair, and your follicles are just the root systems of your hair. So are they still healthy and capable of producing hair? And then the second aspect, do you have scar tissue on your scalp? Because, for example, certain types of alopecia are scarring types of alopecia. So the scar tissue can then block that follicle. And even though there's hair growing underneath, it doesn't push through the surface because of the scar tissue. So provided your follicles are healthy and there's no scar tissue present, you can regrow your hair. And even if you have scar tissue, there are procedures that your dermatologist can do to break up that scar tissue to allow the hair to push through the surface. So that is education about what's happening, how to use products, the types of products that are better for you depending on the ingredients. And then if you need to do something more with your dermatologist. So we talk through that as well.
Fascinating. What are your favorite ingredients that you use to create some of the products, or that would stimulate hair growth?
Yes, so our organic pumpkin seed oil is loaded with vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants, and especially a type of antioxidant are phytosterols that is in very high quantities in organic pumpkin seed oil. So it works very well to help regrow hair. So I love that about the pumpkin. It was why we introduced it, and ours is 100% pure organic pumpkin seed oil. That can be used on the scalp, just put some on the index finger, and then you just want to smooth it into those areas where you're experiencing thinning. So that works very well. And also with the other products that we have, we use humectants in our formulation. So humectants are like ingredients that bring moisture into the hair. So it helps the hair to retain it. It helps to get moisture inside the hair shaft itself, so that you're moisturizing at a deeper level. And it also helps to recreate. So for example, as we age, we produce less sebum. And that means drier hair, drier skin as well. And so with the sodium lactate that's in the products, with the hydrolyzed oat protein that's in the products, it helps to recreate the types of moisture that you used to have. And sodium lactate is really a type of item that our body normally produces. It just produces less of it as we age. And the products has sodium lactate. So it's helping to replace that. And then also with the combination of the hydrolyzed oats, it's helping to bring moisture back into the hair shaft. And so that is what's key about the products that we have.
Yeah. Which, what chemical or used in common shampoos would you say does most damage or blocks follicles? Or, for example, I know when I look at some, I avoid parabens or sodium lauryl sulfates, and
Yes, right along that same vein, the drying alcohols like the SD alcohol, the isopropyl alcohol, these are the type of alcohols that you're most familiar with. You know, that plastic bottle of alcohol you may keep on the shelf just in case you need to use it for something, or to help clean some type of injury that may have happened to your body somewhere. So that alcohol is exceptionally drying, and it is something that we avoid. And just like you were saying, parabens, the strong preservatives, because the absolute strongest preservative is formaldehyde. Basically, what's used when someone has passed away and they're trying to preserve the body for a type of funeral, if you will. And understand that preservative goes by many different names, and it can definitely be found in products that you that would surprise you and that you really want to stay away from. So I am a proponent of staying away from those harsh and harmful and drying ingredients, focusing in on instead of that, things that are nourishing, that are moisturizing, that are softening, and making sure we're getting that moisture into all levels of the hair, not even just the surface where the cuticles are, but those inner layers of hair. And that's where you get the longevity and moisture. It's where you get the consistent growth that is happening. And it's just where your hair feels and looks its best.
Yes. My grandmother's Greek from the island of Chios. Mm-hmm. And one of her favorite methods is rubbing extra virgin olive oil into her hair. Mm-hmm. And she swears by it. She says it gets your hair to regrow.
It does. Olives are fully loaded, as I like to say, fully loaded with nutrients. So your mother is definitely onto something. And olive oil is one of the components of our product. So we have a mix of oil, organic oils and butters. Several of them are food grade because I really want my customers to have the best. And so that is some element, along with kupa asu butter and coconut oil. And avocado oil, that is yet another very good one that works very well for the hair. So it's a mix of oils and butters to optimize the types of vitamins, minerals, and just those nutrients that you get and you need. You know, our hair is not essential to life, and this is something that is key, but our hair is not essential to life. So if what we are eating, or even if supplements that we're taking, if it is not enough to serve the body, your body is going to limit what you are consuming to the parts of your body that are required for life, that are required for sustaining life. So if you are shortchanging your nutrients, your hair is going to be one of the places that it shows up in, because your body is trying to support those life-sustaining functions. And then the extras, no, we're not going to worry about that because you're shortchanging. And so it's really important that we have a nice diet, that we supplement if that's what we need to do, but that we're doing all the things that we need to fully nourish our bodies, and making sure that our hair is getting what it needs as well.
It's a holistic approach, isn't it? Because, what you eat matters. If you're mm-hmm. very, very stressed, then that mm-hmm. could also affect hair loss. So the products that you use for your hair could also affect it. So you've got to see it from all angles.
Absolutely. And cortisol is a stress hormone. And the continued presence of cortisol does a few different things to our body, but one of it is thinning of the hair.
Yeah, yeah, no, I know. So your entrepreneurial journey has included some mentoring and coaching other beauty brands. What key insights or lessons do you share with aspiring beauty entrepreneurs to help them succeed in the industry?
Oh, absolutely. That it requires consistency. It requires a strategy. So you can't just jump in and hit and miss certain elements while leaving others untouched. So it requires a strategy, a holistic strategy. It requires being really all in because in today's world with social media and having access to things, to people that we really didn't have before, you need to be in front of the camera because your customers, they want to know you. They want to see you. They want to know that you truly understand because you're going through the same things that they're going through, but you figured it out and you can offer them assistance to help them navigate that path coming behind you. So that is something that's key. And it's something that I had to learn because I felt like, why does anybody care about me? They want to know what the products are going to do for them. But in this environment with social media, they need to first to like, no trust factor, have it for you. And then we can talk through your products, your courses, so other things that you're offering. And so that is something that I consistently say is to have that relationship, that comfort of getting in front of the camera. Because I didn't necessarily like getting in front of the camera when things were starting, but it's important because they need to see you, they need to hear you. And it takes a lot of work to launch a brand, to grow a brand. And so you need that stamina for the longer term. And if this is just something you're thinking about dabbling your toes in, but aren't really committed, then this is probably not something that you should be doing or a path that you should be on, because you will be living, eating, and breathing the particular products, the brand, or the services that you are offering. It really does take time, and certainly not hit or miss. And I also always encourage you to have mentors that are right there with you. You want some that are further down the path than you are because they can share with you why they did what they did and why they made that selection. And maybe they have a better selection for you to make. And then having some behind you as well, because there is always something that we can learn, but it does help you when you're sharing that information with someone else that may not be as far down the path as you. But those aspects are really key. It takes a village. It takes a village to launch a brand. Even though you may be the single employee at that point in time, it certainly takes a village. And you have to know your customers. When I initially launched, my customer base was younger. And then over the years, it transitioned to an older base. And now generally customers that are 50 plus is where my core customers are. And it's important to know your customers because that's going to tell you where on social media you should be. Because if your products are targeting a younger audience, then TikTok and probably Instagram, Snapchat, those are better places. But if you're targeting women who are in corporate America, LinkedIn could probably be the place. And then Pinterest and Facebook, they also have some certain aspects to it as well. So knowing your customers helps you to communicate correctly to them, and it helps you to find them once you know where their ages are and then where they're hanging out on social media. So I think those are the most important elements for any brand starting out or any brand that is scaling.
Yeah. Well, you've got to know your customers. You've got to know their pain points, and where to find them. I think that's absolute key. And like you said, it takes a lot of effort and determination and dedication to get there.
Absolutely.
Well, in closing, where can our listeners get in touch with you?
Absolutely. So I am on Pinterest, TikTok, Instagram. Let's see. Yeah, all of those, and Facebook as Curly Coily Tresses.
Okay.
My website is curlycoilytresses.com. And I'm also on YouTube. Now, again, it's Curly Coily Tresses. And then my website, again, is curlycoilytresses.com. And then also, if you want to reach out to me over email, you can do so at hello@curlycoilytresses.com. If you're interested in products or courses, the Ageless Tresses course, for example, all are available on my website. Our next Ageless Tresses is coming up this Wednesday, and I know that this particular interview won't be published by then, but generally once every 2 weeks, I have a new course starting for those individuals that may want to sign up. So they can certainly join in at the time, that that may be coming up for them in the future. But yes, so absolutely across all the social media as curlycoilytresses.com, and then on LinkedIn as Angela Fields. So again, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, Pinterest, and then Instagram. So I know I missed some in there. And then, of course, LinkedIn under my name, Angela Fields. And if you don't already have the links, I can certainly send those to you, Barbara.
Okay, definitely. And I'll put them in the podcast description notes.
Okay, great.
Well, thank you, Angela, for sharing your inspiring journey and invaluable insights with us today. It's been an absolute pleasure having you as my guest. Thank you again for your time and for being such a lovely guest of my show.
Thank you so very much. Really do appreciate your time this morning, and looking forward to learning a bit more about your audience.
Thanks for listening to Barbara's podcast. Don't forget to sign up for our newsletter or e-courses. Celebrate life, and see you at the next episode.